In early 2026, a joint bombing campaign struck Iranian command centers, followed immediately by long-range missiles hitting Israeli infrastructure. Following the collapse of international nuclear negotiations, the situation has escalated into one of the most dangerous military confrontations on Earth. This direct warfare marks a total reversal of the past. Before they were sworn enemies, Iran and Israel were exceptionally close strategic allies. In 1948, the newly established State of Israel was surrounded by hostile Arab nations. To survive, Prime Minister Ben-Gurion developed the doctrine of the periphery, a strategy to build alliances with non-Arab nations on the Middle East's outer edges, Turkey, Ethiopia, and Iran. Ben-Gurion sought partners who shared his distrust of neighboring Arab nationalist regimes, looking for any regional counterweight to the threats on his border. He found that partner in Iran's pro-Western monarch, Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. The Shah shared Israel's anxieties regarding Iraq, forming a partnership that lasted decades. The exchange was highly practical. Iranian crude oil powered the Israeli economy, while Israel provided advanced weapons, agricultural tech, and medical expertise. Behind the scenes, the Mossad and CIA even helped train the Shah's secret police. This integration created a powerful, stabilizing strategic partnership that benefited both nations, a level of cooperation that seems impossible given the current state of the region. That partnership ended in 1979. Public anger over the Shah's corruption and his security forces culminated in the Islamic Revolution, forcing the monarch into exile. The new leader, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, replaced the monarchy with an Islamic republic built on a fierce anti-Western ideology. Khomeini immediately severed ties with Israel, handing the Israeli embassy building in Tehran over to the Palestine Liberation Organization and branding Israel as an illegal colonial outpost. This shift was also a bid for regional influence. By championing the Palestinian cause, the Persian Shiite leadership in Iran aimed to win the support of the Sunni-majority Arab world and project itself as the true leader of the Islamic faith. By the end of 1979, Iran's foreign policy had been completely re-engineered, replacing regional cooperation with a religious mandate to eliminate the Israeli state. Iran's leaders realized they could not defeat Israel in a conventional head-on war. Instead, they began funding a network of militant proxy groups known as the Axis of Resistance. In 1982, Iran's Revolutionary Guards helped transform a local Shiite militia in Lebanon into Hezbollah. This proxy eventually amassed over 150,000 rockets aimed directly at northern Israel. Throughout the 80s and 90s, Iran expanded this strategy into the Gaza Strip, smuggling millions of dollars and advanced rocketry to Sunni groups like Hamas, despite their sectarian differences. By 2011, Iran established military bases in Syria to support the Assad regime. In 2015, they began arming Houthi trolls in Yemen with long-range missiles capable of striking southern Israel from a distance. This coordinated ring of fire allowed Tehran to threaten Israeli security on multiple fronts without ever firing a missile from its own soil. To Israel, the proxies were a serious threat, but the ultimate danger was Iran's two-decade-long construction of a nuclear infrastructure. Israel remains convinced that Tehran's goal is an atomic bomb. Israel responded with an aggressive campaign of sabotage. In 2010, they used the Stuxnet computer virus to physically destroy Iranian nuclear centrifuges from the inside. This covert war eventually moved into the streets of Tehran, where Mossad agents carried out targeted assassinations of top Iranian nuclear scientists. For 40 years, this shadow war maintained a deadly equilibrium, a series of proxy attacks and cyber sabotage that kept both nations just below the threshold of open warfare. The 2023 Hamas attacks and the subsequent war in Gaza brought that equilibrium to a breaking point. Iran's proxies in Lebanon and Yemen immediately began firing into Israel in solidarity. In April 2024, the conflict escalated further when Israel struck an Iranian diplomatic compound in Damascus, killing several high-ranking generals. Iran retaliated by launching over 300 drones and missiles directly from Iranian soil at Israel, shattering decades of precedent. This single, direct exchange signaled that the era of containment was over. The unwritten rules of the shadow war were gone, replaced by a state of direct, conventional military conflict. This led directly to the 2025 12-day war and the massive joint bombing campaigns of 2026, pushing the region to its current crisis. Today, global powers are desperately negotiating to reopen trade routes like the Strait of Hormuz and establish a tenuous ceasefire. These diplomatic efforts focus on immediate tactical pauses, but they leave the underlying ideological drivers of the conflict unaddressed. The Iranian regime still defines its religious identity through anti-Zionism, and the Israeli state continues to view Iran's nuclear ambitions as a threat to its existence. Brokered deals may temporarily halt the missiles, but the core of the enmity remains unchanged.